live. Here we are sitting in our front room on a Thursday evening, and normally the conversation would be along the lines of, have we got any wine? And did you get the grandchildren home okay? The answers to both of those were yes. But thought I'd ask you things that other people might be interested in as well. So...
What do we know that other people might be interested in?
Well, about your career, we can call it that, which continues after your retirement as a stage manager, which you've done for a lot of years. And the one I wanted to ask you about was Whitby, which you went to last week.
Yes, Musicport in Whitby. Which I've been working at for about 15 or more years, I think. With my friend Rachel, we run the North Sea stage.
Right.
There's 3 main stages there. There's the main stage itself, which is in a very big room for over 1,000 people. There's a 450...
Wow, that's huge.
Yeah, 450 seat theatre, and our stage, the North Sea stage, is so called because we're in the Whitby Pavilion, and all along the side there are windows through which you can see the North Sea.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Which could look either very forbidding or very beautiful.
Well, there was a bit stormy at times this weekend, and it looked a bit wild out there. So a lot of people were saying how magnificent it looks, and dark and brooding, and given that this is the sea and the beach that Dracula arrived in England on. It was indeed appropriately dark and brooding.
And what was happening at this is a music stage, the North Sea.
Oh yes, very much so. Yeah, well, it's a music festival, Musicport. Whitby's a port. Music comes and goes in and out of it. So there's music from all over the world. Mostly, touring big bands go onto the main stage. We get a lot of the lesser known, sometimes from foreign parts, and some relatively local musicians as well, which is nice.
So what does your job as a stage manager entail?
Well, to be honest, there's 2 of us. Rachel's actually the stage manager on this one, and I'm officially the compere. But we very much work together as a team with the sound crew, which for the last 2 or 3 years has been a relatively young chap called Tom. Who's been working with us since he was a teenager. We watched him.
He's all grown up.
Yeah, we watched him grow into the job, and he's got young lads working with him. One of whom, Jake, is magnificent. Turned out he was only 13.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And we were impressed with him. Rachel was looking over and said, "Is that Tom's younger brother?" But it turned out Tom was doing a gig, and this lad turned up and said, "Can I help?" And was indeed excellent.
That's
just
great.
He knows all the different cables, and he was there ready with gaffer tape, taping down the cables and things. And he was a great help. Obviously a volunteer.
Yeah, but it's fantastic that it's the kind of industry where young people can learn from older ones and gradually take over from them.
That's right, yes. And, the same thing happens on the stage. Katie Spencer, for example, who's just got, I think, a 2nd or 3rd album out, first appeared on the North Sea stage when she was about 15. Used to have these a 1 hour where you get 4 teenagers on the stage, and very talented people.
Yeah.
And so we're proud that we had her quite young, and then she is about 10 years or more later, making a big name in the folk world. Yeah,
you must see quite a lot of returning people and artists and punters over the years.
There's a few sort of almost regulars. One lad, Mackie, who's helped out with the stage management and with the sound. started to appear on the stage as a teenager. And there he is now, one of the directors of the festival, booking bands and what have you. So it's always good to see him.
Yeah. And you must have a lot of crisis management. I think that's one of your skills, where people flap around and go, Dave, what are we doing?
Yes, there's always odd things, but you get used to them. The first thing we really noticed on Friday night, I had a rather lively band on, and somebody jumping up and down on the stage. And we noticed that the stage board that had been jumped up and down on was like moving up and down a bit more than it should have been, and we were terrified that this person might go through it. So the thing you had to do at the first opportunity was lift the boards off the stage. The stage is made out of metal frames with sort of boards about 4 foot sort of square laid onto them. And realised that the frame underneath this, which is basically square, but they fold up, so it was folding in on itself underneath the stage.
And leaving bits of the stage flapping.
Yeah, so people, fortunately we had something relatively quiet on next. And people were saying, oh, well, we need something about 8 or 9 inches high. There's some blocks of wood about 8 or 9 inches high we can put underneath. But I had some experience of structural engineering. I knew that it wasn't the height that mattered, it was the width. We needed something that would jam the sides of this thing so they wouldn't fold in on themselves.
Right. Did you have to do all this while they were performing?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. Before the next live release of your band was on the stage.
Yeah.
But managed to find a sort of strange long bit of frame. When you're working at a festival outside, they build the festival site and they have a thing called the boneyard, which has got all kinds of bits of wood and planks and scrap metal and odd chairs and
Right,
God knows what else.
Yeah.
But they don't have that because it's an indoor festival. It's in the pavilion at Whitby. But they did have an odd storage room behind the theatre stage. And I found this piece of frame of, I don't know what it was a bit of a frame of. It rather looked like the base of one of those clothes rails that you see, on wheels. But it had no wheels and it had no attachment for posts. So what it was, I don't know. But I found it. You don't ask if you can use this. You just take it. Better to sort of do it.
Better to ask for forgiveness than permission. I think
That's
is a
right.
general
Yes.
rule.
Yeah. So between bands, we lifted up the stage floor, put this thing down. It just was the perfect size, and it kept the sides of this frame apart, and it was fine for the rest of the weekend.
Brilliant.
Oh, I do feel bad that I forgot to take it back to where I got it from when we finished.
And in the crisis management bit, did you get double booked with a yoga class or something?
Yes, it was actually somebody had booked in a shiatsu workshop.
Oh, right.
Unbeknownst to us. So we'd actually allowed us of an act to go on a bit longer than we intended because we knew that what was coming next was just, a bloke and a guitar and wouldn't take that long to get it ready to go on stage. But then it was actually Rachel's husband, Steve, who noticed in the programme this workshop. So we basically had to shorten the set that we'd allowed to sort of go on a bit, and said you can't have the extra half hour, but you can have 20 minutes. And then sort of also say to the lad who was coming on next, instead of having 15 minutes to get yourself ready, you'll plug in, 5 minutes to check the sound, and then you're on.
Yeah.
But both Rachel and I have such enough experience to know that we and Tom enough experience to know that this was doable. And anyway, we knew the lad who was coming on next quite well.
Did plenty of people turn up for the shiatsu?
There was about 7 or 8.
Right.
It was called something like Transformation Through Shiatsu, and we all looked at each other and said, anybody got any idea what shiatsu is? We were hoping it was going to be a very quiet thing that could happen, at the far end of the room. But no, it's quite an active thing. Well, they seem to sort of slap themselves rather than each other, which is good. And we managed to just about squeeze that in.
Oh, well done.
There are a couple of other odd things. There was a duo on late on the Saturday night called Tian Ki Yi, Chinese, or Chinese music anyway. And there was 2 brothers called John and Charlie. Very Chinese looking lads, but from Stockport.
Right.
Their dad was Jar Wobble.
Oh,
Right. Who had sort of, appeared with them at the festival in previous years. I had to check the pronunciation, Tian Ki Yi. And one of them said, I need a music stand.
right.
We looked at the instruments he had, and one of them had a bass guitar, as anyone who knows anything about Jar Wobble wouldn't be surprised at. But the other one had a Marin Q or something like that. And an Erha.
Right.
Chinese
okay.
instruments.
Yeah.
One is a 2-stringed vertical fiddle, and the other was something else.
Right.
So we just left Tom to work out what to do with these to get sound out of them. It turned out they just needed, one was actually electric and just needed plugging in. The other one just needed a microphone. While I sort of went to find the music stand they'd asked for. Because there's a lot of going backwards and forwards from one stage to another. And actually both me and Rachel set off in different directions to find a music stand at very short notice.
Yeah.
Came back and the lad just put his mobile phone on. He just wanted to record their set.
All right.
And as we got that, so all happy. And then the bass guitar player said, "Oh, I haven't got a stand for my guitar," so off Rachel went to find one of them from another.
There's a lot of to and fro.
Oh yes.
And you must have learnt a lot about the technical side of amps and
Oh yes,
lighters
over the
and
years.
instruments.
Yeah, I've learned enough to be able to sort of get things on and off stage, but also I've learned enough to say, "Tom, this is your job.
Yeah.
That's not if you need any help." But what we do is make it, we always make sure people start and finish on time. That's an essential part of what we do.
Yeah.
And the storage element. Because we're there all weekend and people turn up and say, "Can I store me guitars here?" I said, "Yes, you just check what time you're on." And they'll say, "Oh, I'm on Sunday afternoon." So I had the magic gaffer tape. I've got white gaffer tape and a Sharpie, and said, "Write your name on this, stick the gaffer tape on your bag, your guitar case, wherever it happens to be. And then hopefully nobody will take the wrong guitar case home."
Yeah.
A lot of musicians and stage crew have had the experience of having to say to somebody or phone somebody up who's halfway down the motorway saying, "That's not your guitar case you've taken." It just looks like it. Yes.
And it's simple solutions, isn't it? White gaffer tape, write your name on. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because I've noticed over the years you've developed different things to go into a magic bag that you take.
Yes. Yes, there's two different colours of gaffer tape. A tape measure
Yeah.
What you need a tape measure for? Well, we needed to know how long this mysterious piece of metal was that we had to use to mend the
Yes,
stage.
it's handy to have a tape measure, yeah.
Yes.
And at one time it used to include Rizzlers and cigarette papers and tobacco, didn't it?
None of that anymore. It's all indoors now.
Yeah.
And there's not that many people smoking
Well, no.
anymore.
No.
Although, there's the volunteer, Peter, the volunteer coordinator, because there's like volunteers, stewards at all the doors, checking that, none of the rooms get too full, and people aren't slamming doors back or making too much noise at the back of a stage or the back of an audience and what have you. And they're really, really good people. There's always a small group of teenagers who've come, and Peter, who's the coordinator, always loves to. We always love to, bring new and young people in. But I think they were responsible for the sort of, the horticultural aroma just outside the doors.
That's not a party of magic, by the way.
No, it isn't.
Yeah.
But there's all sorts of bits and pieces of things. Water, you just have to provide enough water for everybody. New people, new management system, and one of the management people who's responsible for getting drinks and things like this. I wasn't aware of quite how much water gets used.
Yeah.
Basically, everyone who goes on stage needs a drink of water while they're performing. And the other interesting thing I've noticed happens a lot more, or has been developing over the years, is the technology. Loops, that sort of play a bit of something on your guitar or sing a line of something, press a button and then that loops and just keeps coming back and things. I mean, that's been happening for years, and anyone who likes Ed Sheeran and KT Tunstall and many others will have seen them being used on stage quite a lot. Yeah. Which is partly why I like Ed Sheeran doing live things much more than in doing stuff in the studio. But anyway, that's beside the point. But increasingly, people turn up with like a whole table full of knobs and sort of laptops. There was a French girl called Youthie. Turned out it was her first gig in the UK. And she came along, she had a trumpet, a microphone, a couple of other instruments, and a whole array of things on the table, including a laptop. So some pre-recorded stuff and some that she was just, change the tone and volume of, various things. And essentially, you and I remember the one-man band being sort of a bloke with a guitar and a mouth organ. And, and
cymbals that would stamp on.
That's right, cymbals between his knees and something he'd stamp on to play a big bass drum behind him.
It's like the modern equivalent of that.
Well, it is the modern equivalent of it. There was another one, Funky and the Two-Tone Baby. A two-tone baby being a large array of technology on a table in front of him. Well, he played an amazing sort of mouth organ, proper blues harp and guitar, going through all these things. So his little acoustic guitar could sound like absolutely anything. Quite staggering stuff. But I want to say one thing about some friends I've had going there for a long time. Mambo Jambo, Cajun duo. Pete and Frankie, a female Frankie. Yeah. They were actually on the main stage with their mate Joe Martin, who was a fiddle player. And I was chatting to them earlier, and I said, I love what you two do, but I don't know much about anything about Joe. And he said, well, there is an interesting tale about Joe, because he was in Hull, which is where they're from, busking with his violin, and some bloke walked up to him and said, you sound great, I'd like you to play at my festival. Joe, thinking it was an East or North Yorkshire festival, said, yeah, I'd love to. Which one? The Montreux Jazz Festival.
Wow.
And he said, oh, well,
Is that in Switzerland?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, with world-known, world-famous, jazz musicians, all sorts of other musicians. Nick Cave's played there a few times. I think that Smoke on the Water, the riff Smoke on the Water, written by Deep Purple.
Yeah.
That was about a fire that I think might have been at the Montreux Jazz Festival across the lake. Yeah. Anyway, so Joe said, could I bring me mate? My band, 3-piece band, which included Pete from Mambo Jambo. The band's called Ain't Misbehaving, so Peter's in their flat, in their apartment or house, not sure where they live or what they live in. It's got this massive poster with all these famous musicians, and right at the bottom in small print, Ain't Misbehaving from Hull.
That's nice. Yeah.
The other one, I managed to catch a bit of O'Hooley and Tito's gig
yes,
there. So
local girls.
When we know them.
Yeah.
We once had a sort of double date with them on Valentine's at Nelson's Wine Bar. Well, they just happened to be on the next table and we pushed the tables together.
Yeah, because we enjoyed each other's company.
Absolutely, yes. And great. And Belinda used to do lesbian cabarets at the Trades Club a long time ago. And she joined the Unthanks. I was astonished when she joined this folk group.
Yeah.
Then she got together with Heidi, and they've had this folk duo going for about 15 years. They've decided, for reasons I don't know yet, that they're going to stop doing O'Hooley and Tito musically. They're not going to stop being them. So they're only splitting up musically rather than romantically. And they were talking about doing a gig at the Trades Club in Hepton Bridge. Sang a song about Gentleman Jack.
Yeah.
Famous 19th century or 18th century lesbian mill owner from Shipton Hall. And after their set, Sally Wainwright walked up to them and said, "That was great. Would you mind if I use that song?" Heidi said, "We thought for nearly a second before saying yes, of course."
And it was great, wasn't it, as the intro for Gentleman Jack, the series that was on telly.
I thought they'd written it for that.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But I don't think you can talk about Whitby and your time there without giving a mention to the splendid Elizabeth.
Oh, yeah. But me and Jack go there every year. Our friend Maggie and you have
I've stayed there as well. Yeah.
Done the green room at this festival.
Yeah.
So she's in her 80s. She's absolutely marvellous. She really looks after us well.
Yeah. I know. And she has a much missed now dog called Hetty Wainthorpe.
Well, I think it was just called Hetty. You added the Wainthorpe.
Oh, did I? I thought she was called Hetty Wainthorpe.
Yes.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
Blast from the past for anyone who remembers that.
Yeah. She is lovely. And while on the green room, you did the green room there 2 or 3 times, didn't you?
I did, yes. I enjoyed it.
And it's a splendid place where all the musicians and some of the staff all mingle.
Yes, together. It's lovely.
It's really nicely, and the food was splendid. And at the end of the weekend, we sort of went up there just shortly before the staff from the pavilion said, "You've got to leave now," and gathered together what wine and beer and things was left. We had a little after party. Yes, so it's splendid, and I only do that one and Knockengorroch these days.
You used to do a lot more, didn't you?
Lots of festivals.
It's amazing how many festivals keep going in, the current climate of, not people not having much money and there being so many regulations to putting them on and so expensive to put on, aren't they?
Yeah, well, we used to do free festivals. It's very difficult to do free festivals now because, as you say, the cost of putting them on and fitting in with all the regulations and things.
Yeah, and then when the lockdown happened, a load of them stopped happening, but then they picked up again, didn't they?
It's a shame, as some of the big festivals are increasingly corporate.
Yeah, it's the little festivals that... Yeah,
it's the sort of the lifeblood of the local music scene and things. So, and it's where you find the bands that haven't got made massive contracts with labels and things like that. And
Well, it's a great way
forward.
to discover new bands, isn't it? Because if they put them on at venues locally, you need money to go and see them, and people won't fork out to see someone they've never heard of. Whereas if they happen to be on in the place and you're there for the weekend, you'll take a chance, won't you, and go and see them.
Well, hopefully. I remember the crash in 2007. A lot of people started thinking, I'm not taking that risk. It's happening again a bit now. The financial uncertainty is always good for tribute bands. Oh, I know what Oasis sound like, so I'm going to see something like Oasis. But it's not good for sort of new live music, and that's where small venues and small festivals are coming to their own.
Yeah, and we are lucky to live in a valley where there's so much new music and live music and, little known bands that you can go and see for not very much money.
Absolutely. Let's just hope it carries on like that.
Yeah. Well, it was nice to chat about what you did while I was here all by myself.
Yes, but we've gone down on the wine a bit.
Yeah.
I'll have to get a refill on the wine, and I think Traitors is about to start on the television.
We don't want to miss Celebrity Traitors.
Well, okay. Well, thanks for thinking I'm interesting enough.
I do.